Alright, so if you need to legit check a spider hoodie, this is the video you're supposed to be watching. This is the video version of our free real versus fake guide, which you can find at this URL. Now I'm just going to quickly take you through the 5 steps over here, which show you how to spot the real and the fake hoodies. And we're just going to start with the neck tag because that's the best way, I personally think, you can spot fake hoodies and tell them apart from the real ones. So starting with the neck tag, the first thing I would do is just look at the text right here. So you can see machine wash code, tumble dry low. Look at the font that the fake is using. You can see how the text is much thinner than the real one. And besides that, the letters are stretched out, so they feel like they're a bit taller than they're supposed to be on the real hoodie. And generally, all of the lines of text here just use a different font from the real one. A real hoodie is just supposed to look like the one on top, never like the one on the bottom. Fakes have gotten just a bit better than what you're seeing here, but overall you're looking at thick, small, boxy letters, unlike the ones you see on the bottom. And then aside from all the text, you can see the spider green logo on top here. This whole print is the same on hoodies, t-shirts, even on pants is the same one. Now, the issue with the fake one is it's too light. So for example, look at the star in the middle. You can see how it doesn't reflect, first of all, it doesn't reflect as much light as the real one. And second, it has sort of a lime green shade. And the same applies even to the text right here. So this is going towards lime green, whereas the real one is supposed to be darker. So if you just pause the video for a few seconds and look at this text here, and this text right here, you can see how the fake one is much lighter than what it's supposed to look like on the real neck tag. Now, aside from all of this, these hand emojis are just pointing out the spots where I thought it was the easiest to spot the flaws on the fake. So that's the word machine, the word designed, cotton, and obviously just on the fake you see the hand emoji showing you the lime green, which is different than the darker green, the olive sort of green on the real hoodie's neck tag. And with all of this being said, for the neck tag we have to go to step number 2, which is the print. Now most of the spider hoodies have this SP5DER text, others have the 555 text, whatever it is, the same concept applies to all of them. And that is the fact that the letters have to be printed. So look at all of them here. You can see where the green ends and the gray or the black stars, that's the fabric. And the real hoodie's text doesn't look puffy, right? It looks like it's just attached there and it's like a thin layer of green. Whereas now if you zoom on the fake, you can see how the letters are kind of fat, they're thick, they're puffy and coming out of the fabric. And all of these hand emojis are just showing you the spots where this is most obvious. So for example, if we look at this contrast here between the white and the pink, you can see how this is like sort of 3D, right? Well, that's not supposed to happen on the real spider text. So if you look at the same spot, the 5 here, it looks like it's almost part of the gray and the black on behind. So it's never supposed to come out of the hoodie. And the same applies even to the pants. And even though we have this model here for the real and this one for the fake, this is a universal thing that applies to all spider clothes. So the logos, the bottom line is that the logos are never supposed to come out of the hoodie or of the fabric. They're supposed to be printed down there. So that's it for the spider logo on the front, and that brings us to the third step, which is the supporting text or the other text aside from the main one. Now here I just previously said this is the spider logo. There's other hoodies that have the 555 logo, and there's the this one, the Here's the Slime hoodie, which has a different logo, but then that doesn't matter. What we need to talk about in this step is the supporting text underneath it. So that's Here's the Slime. Now, if you pause the video for 2 seconds and you look at these pictures, you can see the emoji shows you the letter M in the word slime. It is way too thin. So you can actually read the entire SLIME. So the M is completely visible here. And if we look here, this is barely visible. So the word slime, even the S is really thick, but the M is like the main letter you should be looking at. You can barely even read the word slime here. And the issue with the fake one is all of the letters, they're too easy to read, right? So all of the authentic Spider hoodies with this model have the letter M barely. It's just too hard to read, and that's how it's intended. That's how it's supposed to be. So if you ever see the word slime or here's the slime, the whole sentence, if it's too easy to read, well, there's chances that the hoodie is probably fake. Okay, and now moving away from all of these frontal prints and the neck tag and everything, inside the hoodie, there's hoodies that don't have the size tag and there's hoodies that have the size tag. And if yours has it, great, that's another hint. That's another spot where we can look so we can identify if it's a real or a fake. Now, if you flip it over, you're going to see this cobweb here. This is like part of the Spider branding. And this is, I think, is the same hoodie as this one right here. Now, we just took this picture and we're looking at the cobweb. So all of the web parts, you can see how they're white, which is the same as the whole label behind it. It's also white. Now, if we zoom in a little bit on the fake one, you can see how it's a bit of a bluish shade. That's never supposed to be like that. Even though the hoodie is blue, the cobweb is supposed to be the same white as here. So if you see this, that's probably a fake. It's not always the best sign, so I wouldn't, that's why it's also the fourth on the list. So I wouldn't trust this 100%, but if this is like this, there's chances that something else is wrong as well. So if you see this, always go back to the neck tag and have a look at, just check it out, see how the neck tag is as well. Don't put your trust 100% in the size tag. But then this is just like a reassurance check, which I would still look at, even if the other stuff checks out or doesn't check out. It always helps us draw the bigger picture. So that's it for the size tag. Now let's move on to the pocket, which is also the last step of this guide. In here, this is the fifth step because it's not always the most reliable either, but again, you're gonna need all the pieces of the puzzle to put it together. So let's start with the fake one, and I'm just gonna zoom in here. You could see how this whole line, this whole line right here is the pocket, and the star that goes over the pocket has this line right where it meets with the pocket, where it gets thick, right? It almost creates like a lip. Now, if we look at the real one, the print is much smoother, right? It doesn't create this sort of thick layer of the star or the cobweb in this case. The main key takeaway from this spot is that the print that goes over the pocket is supposed to remain smooth and never create this sort of thick line, right? This is a sign of sloppy manufacturing from the fake manufacturers. So I would always keep an eye on this. Right, and this is our entire real versus fake guide. All of the other information here is just supporting information. If you have enough time, I would recommend you read it, but this is like the main essence you have to take away from this guide. Let us know in the comments if your hoodie checks out or it doesn't check out, and if you're never certain about the authenticity, you can always get our opinion. So just click any of the buttons, this one or the one in the description of this video, or the pinned comment, and it's going to take you to this page where you have all of the information about our expert authentication service, which is where we show people how our team is going to check out your Spider hoodie and tell you the detailed verdict, if it's real or a fake. So if you go to this page and click get your item checked, it's going to take you to this page where you have to select clothing, select your package if you want the membership or just a one-off authentication. Optionally, you can tell us how much you paid for the item and other information, which is not going to influence the verdict, but it's just helping us paint the picture about your item and know more information, such as where it came from, and just get a general idea of the item's history. And then in no more than 48 hours from the moment you're placing the order, you're going to get a detailed verdict with at least 5 reasons telling you why your item is real or fake. So let us know in the comments how you find this video, and if you want to get your item expertly checked, just click the link in bio, the description, or the pinned comment, and we'll take a look at it for you.